Hey, Tuesday at 2 here from Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina. So glad you joined us. Steve Post from Motor Racing Network, and it is going to be awesome. Really, truly is. It is great to catch up with everybody. Victor and John and Thomas are all in the chat room. Matthew checking in with us, and everything is good. So, hey, glad you joined us here and back from Worldwide Technology Raceway. Man, it was awesome. It really was. Great stuff out there. And how about Kyle Busch getting another win? Third win of the season. Those of you that collect Kyle Busch race-winning diecast, you're going to be busy this year, I think. I don't think this is the end of their winning. And so you can get that race-winning diecast at circlebdiecast.com. That's circlebdiecast.com. Have they offered cold custard yet or not? Yeah. They haven't yet. Okay, so stay tuned to our emails and everything like that. Last week we had the Xfinity Series winner, and I was talking about it here. And as I was talking about it here, within about 10 minutes, it got offered up. So you just got to stay tuned. That's why you make sure you're on our mailing list, follow along with all of our social media and everything else. So it was a great weekend out in St. Louis for others beyond Kyle Busch, but for you, you can get that race-winning diecast. And Brent is checking in. Well, it's good to meet you too, Brent, out in Gateway. Yes, exactly. You and your better half, LaDonna. It was great to meet you out there too. Actually, yeah, cool to catch up with the boss man. Those of you that know the inner workings of this. We're in Concord, North Carolina, and for a while, Brent and LaDonna lived here, so we saw them all the time. We always got a chance to visit. They've moved back to the Midwest now. They run our Missouri warehouse, and so we don't get a chance to visit that much, but it was fun to catch up on Pit Road, and so it was good. Good deal, that's for sure. So nice stuff. And speaking of, and if you have questions, last week we had a great conversation here. Okay, so if you have questions, NASCAR motorsports related question, type them in there and we'll have a little discussion. We had some good stuff last week. We talked about a lot of good stuff. So if you have those questions, type it in there and go from there. So yeah, and we'll get started on it. The other thing I want to come up is I'm bebopping through the garage area on last Saturday morning, and I see crew guys wearing Circle B Diecast crew uniforms. And I'm like, yes, indeed. Where is that BJ McLeod's car? So we have it. BJ McLeod's car. And I actually met some of the guys that's names are on the back of it. So the BJ McLeod car looks so good. Snapped a couple pictures. Those photos. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have them captioned. Steve Post. It says Edward Jones at the top, but it doesn't say Steve Post photo. Yeah, names on the back of it. And it was really cool. Car looked great. Car looked awesome. BJ McLeod is always so cool. Great guy. And so, it's fantastic. So it was fun out there. The car looked really good. And those of you that participated, you got the deal. And we continue to work with BJ McLeod. It's good stuff. So loved it. Loved seeing the names on the car. And as I said, a couple of the folks that had their name on it, while I was taking a picture, they were over taking pictures as well. So great stuff. And we love the partnership we have, not only with BJ, but Front Row Motorsports. We've got some deals with them. And Corey LaJoy, we've done some stuff with him in the past. So it's really cool. And yeah, exactly. So let me see. Yeah, there we go. Well, we got a lot of Victor, are you new here? Victor? Okay, I'm just checking. Asking about a diecast question on here. Are you new here, Victor? I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Matthew last week. Nip it. We don't have diecast questions on here, Victor, in case you are new here. Yeah. We love to talk the NASCAR stuff, okay? We have every form of communication known to mankind. We have DMs on Facebook. We have DMs on Twitter. We have emails. We have phone calls, then smoke signals to find out diecast questions, okay? And it's not a matter of we don't want to do it. It's not between here. I don't have it in my brain. There are some of you and folks here that are like, well, that car, yeah, it'll be released on Tuesday and we get it and that sort of thing. I'm just not not that smart. So that there you have it. So, and Victor, you're not new here. So there you go. So fun stuff, exactly. Brandon wants to know, how was it seeing Rusty in the two back of the track, and how bad do you think he wanted to go? Oh, Russell Wallace wanted to gas that thing up. I mean, we've had some in the sport, and a lot of you have been around for a little bit. We had something at Darlington about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, okay? The pace lap, where they bring an old car, in this case it was Rusty Wallace and Midnight, out on the track, and they parade the field, okay? Darlington, probably 5 or 6 years ago, throwback weekend, they had the old, I believe it was the old Plymouth Belvedere and Richard Petty. Okay, well, we had a little bit of a problem. Okay, Richard, you're going to pace the field for 2 or 3 laps. 3 laps, I think it was. And then you're going to come down pit road. The next thing you know, 3 laps come. They get on the radio. All right, 43 to the pits. Gets the entrance to pit road. Keeps right on going. And then he starts motioning. He wants the green flag waved. They about had to call Darlington, South Carolina's finest to get King Richard Petty off the racetrack, which would have been awkward, putting the King. And the problem is that they would chase him, but they couldn't catch him. They had themselves in a little pickle before finally Richard Petty decided to play along nicely. But it was so funny. It was like I was listening and scanning the radio. I think it was Chad Canals. And like Jimmy was on the radio, like, why do we keep running parade laps? And Chad was just like, this is awesome. Richard Petty's not pulling off the racetrack. And Jimmy's like, well, let's let him out there. I've always wanted to race against the King. It was cool. It was great. So, Richard, he did not want to get off the racetrack, Clifford. That was good. Rusty didn't make quite the scene of it. I wonder if they've got to sign something now after Richard went out there. I bet you they're like, oh, we can't do that. No, we did have another problem at Gateway, though, okay? And I didn't see this, okay? I was probably the only person because I'm on pit road. Those of you in the stands and those of you on TV, that huge pyro on the backstretch. They did all the fire bombs as the cars went. Well, somebody, it might have been William Byron or somebody during the red flag delay said, when the Grace was supposed to go green, we had to run a couple laps because it was like they sheltered the backstretch in confetti of all of the shrapnel from that. So quite the pre-race celebration. I am going to tell you, the folks at Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway, they do it right. I am telling you, they are wonderful people. They are fun people. They are being creative. There was concerts and music shows, and Florida, it was out there. So Florida was out there singing. Dierks Bentley, I'm trying to think. Dierks Bentley was out there. And it was all, it was just great. They just do a great job out there. And it was really, really cool. So fun stuff. And I love what goes on at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I'm so glad we're going there. And it was good and really fun. So there you go. You're a little quiet in here today, and that's all right. That's all right. Exactly. Oh, Victor says it wasn't a diecast question. It was an update. Thank you, Victor, for the update. All right, there we go. We got you covered. Okay. You still have to nip it, though. There, how's that? That's it. So, hey, well, while we're just chit-chatting around here, we got some diecast to show you. Okay, we got some diecast to show you. We have the month of May. A lot of the drivers are here local, especially with North Wilkesboro of Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, and that's our chance to get them in here to get some autographs. Okay, so consequently, we have some new autograph stuff. Let's take a look at that. We've got Corey LaJoy. This is the Brent's High School car. We got Corey LaJoy. We have got Justin Haley, and we have got Jeremy Clements. This is all die-cast that is autographed now. You see in some instances they're paint pens, and and it's just good looking stuff. You can go right now on the search engine and get that. So get those die-cast cars. In fact, when I walked in, they're boxing them up, and some of those cars are getting boxed up now. So let's hope they get shipped out, and that means let's hope you buy them. So Jeremy Clements, Justin Haley, and Corey LaJoy, brand new autographed die-cast that we have right now exclusively on Circle B Diecast. So that is good. That is good stuff. Exactly. Brandon, did you see Michael Waltrip losing his phone? No. I was on radio. That happens sometimes. But fell out, and I did see a little about it. And no, and that's a great question, actually. I have not lost my phone. Now, I'm remembering your name. Because the next race, when I lose my phone, I'm blaming you, Brandon. But no, isn't it crazy losing our phone? Oh boy, losing our phone. Gosh, what panic that must have been for Michael. And what panic for everybody. But I guess they found it, and all is well that ends well with Michael Waltrip. AJ, that's a good point. Old school NASCAR when the teams didn't have internet. Okay. So here's what happened. All of the internet and everything, there's connections all over the globe. Okay. There's satellites, there's high-speed connections. And what happened is the entire internet and all the high-speed connections went out. Okay, and I think it stemmed somewhere near the television compound in St. Louis, or just outside of St. Louis. Everything went down. Okay, TV broadcasts went down, radio broadcasts went down, but to AJ's point, all the telemetry went down. And it became old school NASCAR. No communications other than the driver, the spotter, the radios worked, but all the telemetry went down. So it was fascinating because crew chiefs and drivers did not have the telemetry to back up what they were saying the car was doing. And then the teams also have war rooms back in the North Carolina area, and they lost all connection with the war rooms. And so it was just fascinating. It was like old school, AJ. You're absolutely right. It was like old school NASCAR, and they just had to do it, okay? Funny story, what happened with MRN, okay, is our board operator, a gentleman by the name of Craig Moore, is in the Hall of Fame studios in downtown or uptown Charlotte, okay? When the signal goes out, we have all kinds of protocols and plan Bs because we have 600 radio stations across the country that can't have dead air. So the race is optimal. Dead air puts you out of business. And so you got to go with something. So Craig mashes, and he knew the nature of the fallout, that it was going to be a little bit longer than a 30-second delay because they had to get satellites and syncing and restarting and rebooting and everything else. So Craig hit a classic race, okay? 2 or 3 people on Twitter have hit me up, including Mike Davis. Mike does Dale Jr.'s download. Listening to the race on MRN. Walk into Lowe's. Come out, turn on the race. Ken Schrader, driver of the AC Delco Ford, is describing to Jim Phillips how he likes a drop snout race car. 1998, old school race. And so the old school broadcast took over. And we had other people like what the hell's going on? I got out of my car and I get back in my car and it's an old Busch Series race. One of my buddies texted me. He said, we're listening to an old Busch race. And then he texted me back when we got back live and he said, well, who won the old Busch race? And I'm like, well, you're going to have to go back and figure it out. It was weird. And to AJ's point, for the crews, it was old school. Rodney Childers had a really cool post about it this week, how he couldn't communicate with they had no telemetry, couldn't communicate with the war room, and just kind of him and Kevin and their spotter kind of all sorting it out. So it was good. It was fun stuff. So neat stuff. Really do love it, that's for sure, and love our chance to have conversations as well. So other stuff. Y'all are quiet on the questions, so we're just going to roll on out of here. Picks for next week's winner. Road course, Sonoma, Tyler Reddick. How about that? Tyler Reddick. That's who I'm going with. Xfinity Series, road course. I'm not sure who. I think I haven't seen the entry list. There's a bunch of Cup drivers in that race, and be looking at those Cup drivers. But Tyler Reddick, he is so good at road course. You know what? No. Upon further review, Ray. Upon further review, scratch that. Chris Buescher. That's it, exactly. So, yes, absolutely. So, great stuff, that's for sure. Brandon wants to know, how did Jessie Punch do first time on MRN? Right, Jessie Punch is Jerry Punch's daughter. She debuted with us out at Portland. I have no idea. I did not hear that she ran us off the air. I was busy doing a 10K or a 5K, or a 3K. Well, it was supposed to be a 5K. I was busy running, so I did not get to hear MRN's coverage of the race out at Portland, but from all accounts, Jessie did a great job. She's a great young lady, that's for sure. So there you have it. Our Tuesday at 2 visit. Exactly. Tuesday at 2. Perry, I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking on that, Perry. Perry, ask Victor what we're supposed to do here. So there we go. Rob, thoughts on who we seem driver to beat for the Xfinity Series Championship? Boy, that's a tough one. I tend to think over the long haul, maybe John Hunter Nemechek. I liked Austin Hill early on, but he seemed to have gotten normal. Justin Allgaier is always a good bet. But maybe John Hunter Nemechek. I haven't really thought about that. Let me tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. Next week on my Crew Call show, we're doing a season recap. And so maybe that's what we do here because we're going into the off weekend. And why don't I take all those notes and we'll bring it up and we'll social media this thing in advance because we hit a break in the season, and we'll do that next week. So, Rob, I'm off the top of my head, John Hunter Nemechek, but next week I'll be, because we'll be digesting all of the Sonoma stats as well going into the off weekend. So, yeah, that's it. Exactly. So, great stuff for sure. All right, we're going to bolt on out of here. All right, we're going to get on out of here. So, we love the chance to sit and talk with you, and good stuff. We love chatting with you. We love talking about Kyle Busch race winning diecast and that BJ McLeod car and those 3 newly autographed cars we have with Justin Haley, Jeremy Clements, and Corey LaJoie. So get them all at Circle B Diecast. All right, I'm the Postman, Steve Post. Thanks for joining us here on our Tuesday at 2 visit. Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina.